Hello, hello. This is Erica Kareem, and I am so excited to be here. I was off for a couple of days, and there were some things I needed to get together, and I'm just so excited to be back. So, if this is your first time um, coming to my live, I'm Erica Kareem. I'm a relationship coach, a family mediator, an author, and speaker. And I am excited, just extremely excited to be here. All the topics that I um, come before you with is things that are questions asked that are in our mother daughter boot camp. And so these questions, we record the boot camp, they're private boot camps, very confidential. But these are the things that are asked during the boot camp. And so sometimes I just want to come and address them because even though some people don't or can't afford the boot camp or they made a choice not to attend, the thing about it is that these are questions that are asked in everyday life when you have these certain issues with your family or your mom or different things like that. So today we're going to be talking about um, how to find peace, love, and connect with family, right? How to find peace, love, and family to connect with. And I want to start by saying, hold on a minute, something don't look right. Hold on 1 second. I want to start by saying, sometimes blood will not always be the family connect that you connect with, right? And it's just a given. Some people you will just love and adore in your family. And then some people you'll find out eventually this is not how you're supposed to act. This is not how we're supposed to carry ourselves, right? This is not the way life should be just because this is the person or the people that I grew up with. And eventually, and I'm a reference God, if God gives you the sight to see clearly, you'll know that this is clearly not the way or the road we're supposed to go down. And so again, whether you are, this could be in a community, you just will not connect with everybody, right? Whether it's your coworkers at work, you just won't connect with everybody. It could be your siblings. You love them and you adore them, but sometimes you get one or two of them that absolutely wasn't raised like a certain way, right? They have their different stories of how things went, which could be their story. People tell their story how they want to tell it, or how they seen it, or how they perceived it, whether it was the right or wrong way. That was their perspective, right? And so, again, so many times you will find family and connect to family as an outsider, right? Depending on if you join a community, if you're at church, you just sometimes really can bond with other people besides your blood at a certain point. But I wanted to give you a few steps on how do you find that peace, love, how do you find that joy, right? With your family, the family that you either call your family or the family that God gave you. And so the first thing I want to say is that you have to make sure that you know who you are and what you want. That is a given. And the reason why I say you have to make sure you know who you are and what you want is because everything, I mean, absolutely everything that you do should mirror, right? What you do, who you want to be, and it just makes sense to create the environment of love and joy. It's create the environment of peace and happiness, right? Those are things that you have to create. You have to be intentional about. Sometimes it really just don't fall in your lap depending on who you were raised by. It don't fall in your lap about, okay, because she says she loves you. Love is an action word, and sometimes people just don't know that action, right? They just don't know what the actions should be behind the word love, right? And everybody have their perception of, because I said I love you, this is how you should be treated. Well, you might say, you know what, I don't want to be treated like that. If this is your dysfunctional way of love, I'm out. I am out, right? And so that's the first thing, is it all starts with you. You have to know what you want and who you are and who you want to become. The second thing I want to say is you have to take responsibility of your reaction. Sometimes people can do things to you and they have their own reasons behind it, but you don't want to react based off of somebody else. Whether somebody lied on you, whether somebody stood you up, whether, I mean, it could be anything. You want to remain peaceful, loving, and you just want to be around people that want to be around you. So take responsibility for your reactions, because nobody is making you respond in the order that you are used to responding, right? So let people be them, and then you go on with your life in peace and love and happiness and joy, and just create you a family of love, because people, like I said, their definition of love may not be your definition. And then what does that mean? Sometimes you have to either cut people off, or it could be as easy as just telling them, hey, what happened? What happened to us, and how could we get this back on track? But you don't always have to cut people off. Sometimes people just need a conversation. And a lot of times people are just so stubborn and egotistical, they won't start the conversation. So you have to be the bigger person to say, hey, what's up? You know, what happened with our relationship, and just basically say, I don't really want it to be like that. Now, you can't control what their reaction is, but at least you did your part. And again, if they if you know you've done all you can, if you know that you've been the best that you can be, and you know that you don't have any ill feelings or ill will towards them, whatever they choose is their decision, and it could possibly be their loss. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that you know that you don't have to respond or react the way you've been doing it, or how you know of previous ways that you've been raised, right? Okay, so the next thing I want to say is, in order to have peace, love, and family that you connect with, always, always tell the complete truth. Don't tell half. of the truth or your side of what you might know. Just tell the truth. You know, sometimes people say things and it's not meant to be said the way you interpret it, right? And that's why people have to connect in person or over the phone because I tell people all the time, hey, the way that text came out or the way that was written down, it wasn't probably meant like that, right? So you always want to make sure that you're telling the complete truth and you're getting clarification. Words on paper can so totally be misguided and misused comparing to what the person is really trying to say. Okay, so just always tell your truth and the whole truth and stop telling what other people say. Um, just say what you said. That right there is it should be a deal breaker for some people because people really do are shit starters and you just want to find the peace, love, and family and and that you connect with, okay? Even if that is not your blood family. Okay. And the last thing I want to say, which is so huge, is know what rattles your feathers, right? When people do things, sometimes their intentions could be to hurt you, harm you, um, or it could be for your own good. Their intentions probably could be good for you. So my point is with this is whatever you do, know what rattles your cage, know what rattles your feathers. And if push come to shove, remember I always talk about that environment that you create. Sometimes you want to know if you know that these people are doing something that you don't like, or they constantly saying something that does not support you or does not serve you in some way. You want to make sure that you don't show up for that because it's not honoring who you want to be. It's not honoring the environment that you're trying to create, and you just don't want to be around people that is going to number one, distort your character, or number two, um just if you know what rattles your feathers and you know what gets you hot and steamy, then you just want to make sure that you're not around people that is going to um, hurt you or harm you, or that's just really not in your best interest. So I wanted to give you those few tips because those few tips are very important. We in life have to know who our real friends are, who our real trusted advisors are, right? Who are our confidants and who got our back, who is our ride or die. Some people on one hand only have a few ride or dies and a few confidants and a few people that they can um really trust, right? Without being talked about behind your back or lied on, or but guess what? I'd rather have a handful of something, a handful of substance, a handful of peace, love, and happiness and joy versus two hands and 2 feet worth of junk, worth of gossip, worth of betrayal, right? Worth of rejection, and people full of people that don't know who they are, what they want to be, or just full of chaos and dysfunctions, right? So you get to decide where you go from here. You get to decide who you want to be around, and you get to decide who you want to be and show up as. So again, I'm Erica Kareem, and I want to say that it is a plumbing pleasure doing these videos for you all, because again, these are the questions that are created out of the mother-daughter boot camp. And I just want you to know how I would respond or what you need to know. There's more where that came from. But if you want to join the mother-daughter boot camp, then I'll tell people that some people don't even have their mothers here anymore, or some people have their mothers here, but they just have already divorced their mother. And I want to say this: there's nothing like a hurt mother that is broken and that needs to be repaired. And sometimes we have, our mothers have us, because you could be that guy to help repair her. But she don't know that, and you won't know that unless you are the bigger person and you offer it to her, okay? And then hey, even if she says no, you may have an older sister that you may need to see eye to eye with. The point of the mother-daughter boot camp is to repair and restore your relationships, but also to create in a new environment of peace, love, and happiness, right? And joy. And being able to be around that person, and eventually your group will grow, your environment will grow, that you can all be on the same accord, be on the same page, where you can all understand each other. Because here's the thing, you want to create memories, lovely, healthy memories, instead of raising our children in all the dysfunctions and chaos. And we okay with that because we're around family, we're around love. You have to recognize the love of family and really understanding that, okay, because we love each other, some of these dysfunctions is not okay, and it's going to pass down to our children, right? Some of the things that I have learned is just not okay, and I don't want to be like that anymore. So that's the purpose of the mother-daughter boot camp, is to create a healthy environments where people are um, on the same page. It takes a healthy village to you surround yourself with healthy people, people that understand you, right? So, all right, this is Erica Kareem, and I want to say thank you so much for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and follow. Like, share, subscribe, and follow, depending on what platform you're on. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.